have on the back.
What's going on, beautiful people? I am the Grandmaster, and I also go by D-Ray, bringing you guys the next episode of the Grandmaster's Table, joined by my beautiful co-host, Summer.
Hi.
Hey, guys. So, and today, we have a very, very special treat for you guys. It's going to be one hell of an episode, we'll say that, just from the sheer reaction that we got from you guys online via Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, please join me in welcoming Kaycreigh.
Hi.
I love that. It's so funny. Guys, if you guys are as excited for this episode as we are, do me a massive favor and hit the like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Turn on post notifications, hit the bell button so you guys get notified every single time we post a new video. With all that fun jazz out the way, let's just go ahead and hop right on into it. How you doing, Kay? How are things? How's the day going? Today is a holiday. Happy Memorial Day.
Oh, yeah, you too.
None of us are served here.
I played Harvest Moon and Animal Crossing all day, so celebrating the day to the fullest, the way it was intended to be celebrated.
Yes, of course.
Animal Crossing.
We love it. Summer's been itching to play.
I'm not much of a gamer, honestly, but Animal Crossing is my vibe. I feel like that's something that I would really, really enjoy doing. So I really want the game. Hint, hint, Daniel.
Oh my god. There's the poke. Here we go.
I like that. That was math.
She's sly with it.
Yeah.
I know that. So, guys, we're here for a Pokemon podcast, right? But we're very interested here just from the sheer interest of Summer. What exactly is Animal Crossing? Because I do know that you stream that from time to time. Can you tell us a little bit about the game and your perspective?
So it's kind of hard to describe because it's one of those games that everyone's experience with it is a little bit different. But you pretty much you play as a cute little village. You play in the new one, it's an island, but a town usually. And you have all these cute animal villagers and you just vibe. You literally go around, like if you want to fish today, you're going to fish. If you want to plant some flowers, that's what you're going to do. It's
sounds like something I need in my life.
Summer's like itching at the bone. That's funny.
It's very anxiety relieving, I will say.
Yeah, that's something I need.
I just saw Summer's shoulders fall, so I'm sure that it could be therapeutic.
Yeah.
That's funny. How often do you stream Animal Crossing on your platforms?
Pretty much since it came out. I had needed a break from Pokemon as I've been in the middle of this vintage Sinistea hunt that's gone over 16 phases. It's ridiculous. So pretty much every stream lately, I mean, we've mixed it up doing some Final Fantasy VII Remake, that kind of stuff, hopping back to Pokemon every now and then. But Animal Crossing has been kind of my go-to ever since it came out.
Nice.
Summer's just grinning from ear to ear. The more you talk about it, the more she wants to play.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
You should.
I do. I'm going to.
She's going to. We'll pull the trigger. We'll get your own. You're not taking my Switch. You have to get your own Switch.
Dang. I thought what was yours is mine.
This is awkward. Anyway, so
something about vows, I think.
Yeah, right.
Oh, those.
It's in the vows that you.
I signed those, didn't I?
Share your Switch with me.
Oof. This is awkward. Okay, so how long have you been a streamer / YouTuber? How long have you been doing this whole shebang?
So I've been a streamer for a little over 2 years, and I started on YouTube about 2.5 years ago. It's kind of, I was just talking about this the other day because the other day, meaning March, it's fine. Time is irrelevant right now.
Time is irrelevant.
But like back on my birthday, I realized that I had celebrated 2 birthdays on stream with my community, and it was just such a weird moment for me because it truly does feel like I started a few months ago still. But here we are 2.5 years later.
Still loving it?
Awesome though.
Yeah, just every day it's something new. And I've talked about this before with stream, but acting is my profession. That's what I do for a living. That's my like passion in life. But it really does feel like an extension of that to do content. It's like making your own content, really, which is what you do as an actor, and telling your own stories, that sort of thing. So it was like an immediate love for me. It was just an extension of something that I already passion for.
So my question so I've seen your video. Daniel would watch your videos before, and I would see you, and you were just really confident to me, like super confident, and someone that, you know, you have to be confident to kind of, or I don't know, I feel like you're better when you're more confident when you're doing content creation.
There's an aspect to this that you have to feel kind of a sense of confidence in what it is that you're talking about, and you kind of portray that very seamlessly.
Yeah. So my question was, is that the confidence, is that like something that is natural to you, or is that something that you had to build up to be?
So first of all, thank you for thinking that I'm confident, as most of the time I feel as if I'm just throwing something out there and hoping that it works. It's good to know that at least with someone it's landing. Yeah. I feel like for me, at least because I've always been in uncertain professions, and going, like, all of my adventures have been sort of these uncertain things. You just have to project what you want it to be, and then act like that's what's gonna happen, and you know, stuff probably will go wrong, but you know, just as long as you're enjoying what you're doing and having fun, I feel like maybe that's what comes off as confidence and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Just, I guess, yeah, that's true. And being comfortable with yourself, because you seem very comfortable with yourself, which is amazing. Like, I feel like more girls need to see something like that, you know?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That kind of streamlines into another question that kind of is around the same subject. I'm gonna try to make this as straightforward as I possibly can.
Sure.
Is that we do YouTube, Twitch, etc., Facebook gaming, whatever outlet, whatever platform that you do your streaming / content creation on is primarily dominated by men. Right? So guys are typically the ones that are doing this, and for whatever reason that just happened to be the case. So you don't necessarily see as many female streamers be successful, because typically you see one of two things, right? One, you're very knowledgeable in the game that you do, and you're very entertaining, or you have something to teach, right? Someone comes to you because you have something in a game that you're going to learn from them. How do you feel as though you are able to be successful, because 100% you are, and separate yourself from the other content creators?
Well, I think that comes from how I chose to approach it, which was from an acting standpoint, coming in knowing that my strong suit was going to be being an entertainer, being able to, like, when I do Let's Plays, do the voices, that sort of thing. I'm a storyteller. That's always sort of how I've done it. I definitely do not have expertise in anything that I do online in terms of gaming. I've played Pokemon all my life and watched Pokemon, and I'm a huge fan, but I know that I am not the person that it's like, I kind of want to look at an EV spread. I wonder what Kaycreigh thinks about it. Like, I know that's not my brand. But I think just, like, especially with stream, being that entertainer, but also being open and having sort of a community has always been my goal, and having people be able to come in and be themselves. And, like, I remember whenever I was submitting my Twitch partner application, a phrase that I used, and I actually talked through this with some people who I met through stream, was that I strive to have a community where people can come in and be whatever weird they are.
That's awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, that's
and, like,
awesome.
I think about that a lot, because all of us, like, whatever draws us to sort of these games, especially games like Pokemon, where it's like a role playing, or like there's that sort of aspect. I feel like we're all, like, wonderfully weird in a really unique way, and getting to meet people, and, like, what draws you to this? What's your experience with these games? That's always kind of been, like, connecting with people while also being an entertainer has always been my approach to things. And so, I mean, I hope that's why people come to stream. For my dogs, and quite honestly, I don't blame them.
That's epic. I like that. That was a good answer. Bravo to you.
I like that.
That's cool.
That's great.
That's gonna lead us to the one of our favorite series of questions that we ask all the guests that come on the Grandmasters table is when did you come into the franchise? When did you become an actual fan? That's not from what you do now. Just as a lover of Pokemon, when did you first step in?
So I actually started with the anime, and I remember watching that season 1 whenever it was first coming out. I have pictures of me opening like Easter baskets with Pokemon VHSs in it and that sort of thing. My mom is not a video game fan. She was always very resistant to me playing any video games that were not strictly educational. And so I didn't actually get into playing the games until I got a GameCube, or Animal Crossing, actually, and played XD Gale of Darkness. That was my first ever Pokemon game. And it was one of those moments that was like, where has this been my entire life? Like, it's an anime, but you play it.
Yeah.
Was sort of like that moment for me. And since then, here we are. It's my life now.
It's been history since. That's cool.
That is cool.
That's a good little stream. That's different from most of the answers that we've had. Your answers are crisp, okay? I'm like in awe every time you answer something. And so that leads into the red hot question is if you were to say that this Pokemon is your absolute favorite of all time. This doesn't have to be competitively. This doesn't have to be purely off of aesthetics. If it has a special meaning to you, etc. What is your favorite Pokemon of all time?
This is where I fall apart because I can't make simple decisions to save my life. I literally have a command in stream. It's !! decisions. And it's like, don't ask her to make up her mind about anything, please. She will have a breakdown. I don't know. It's always, I remember when I was little, it was like Eevee and Vulpix were sort of what I was drawn to because I thought that they would be cute to have as pets.
Yeah.
But then, oh my god, this should be such an easy answer, but I can't do it. I have like a list of 7, but I won't do that to you guys. I'll give you one more, and that will be it. I'm limiting myself.
You got this.
So when I played XD, you know how everyone has like the first starter that they ever picked, they have that sort of special connection with. And a lot of times that's people's favorite Pokemon. So since I started with XD, which you start with an Eevee, I chose to evolve mine into an Espeon. And I loved that Espeon. She was a queen, and just like, I didn't know anything about stats or anything like that. I just got over leveled as heck because I spent all these hours in the like Battle Mountain or Mount Battle or whatever. And so I'll say Espeon for like first ever starter memories.
Final answer.
Yeah,
that's it. It's locked in.
It's funny. I feel like as though later we're gonna stop recording, and then you're gonna be getting ready to go to bed, and you'll be like, "Oh, it's this one."
Wait, Wooper. Yeah.
So for those of the supporters of Kaycreigh, there you go. There's her favorite Pokemon of all time. So make sure you spam that in her chats if you guys are here listening to the. If you guys are here listening to the podcast here today, and for those of you who are supporting Kay and you're listening to the podcast for the first time, thank you guys so much. We can see why. She is incredibly entertaining. I know that you said that you're an actress as well for your other side of your quote unquote day job. What do you do for a living? What kind of acting do you do?
So obviously that's been a bit on hold with everything going on.
But,
of course.
My motto is whatever comes along that pays and isn't morally reprehensible.
There you go.
So I guess if we're looking at like my last year, I guess, of work, most recently I got to do a short film where I played a content creator who finds out that someone's trying to kill her, actually.
Oh, wow.
So that was a little possibly too close to what reality could be.
Oh boy.
But then earlier in the year, I got to do a Cardi B commercial.
No
was
way.
What?
So this was when I was living in Vegas. I'm back in LA at this point, but she was going to have a Vegas residency. And so I was there and I got to film the commercial that they were going to play outside of the casino. And then she ended up having a court date and they canceled the whole thing. But
Oh my god.
No.
But hey, the check cleared. So
Yeah.
and I can say I did a commercial with Cardi B. So
Wow.
Oh, that's epic.
That's awesome.
You got the Cardi B money.
right.
Cardi B, if you're listening to the podcast, make sure
If
you
you're
hit
Cardi
her up.
Like and subscribe, Cardi B. Like and subscribe.
Hop into the stream. That's so cool.
That is cool.
So how long have you been an actress?
Well, there are videos of me at 1 year old looking into a mirror and practicing facial expressions and emotions.
Wow.
It's truly like I have always been an entertainer. When I was 2, this is a story that my mother loves to bring up because she's still mad about it. We lived in Tucson, Arizona briefly, and so we would go to the pool basically every day. And did you guys ever see the movie The Rescuers?
Yes.
Daniel did.
Disney, right? We're talking Disney?
Yeah, I think it's Disney.
We're talking Disney. Yeah, it's
But
Disney.
there's a scene where the little girl, her name is Penny, she falls in the water and she starts to like drown a little bit and they have to go and save her. That was my favorite movie at the time. Anyways, back to the story. So we go to the pool. My mom isn't planning on swimming this day. She's done her hair. She's done her makeup. She's wearing full clothes. No swimsuit. She was just going to let me swim for a little bit. But there is an old ladies aerobics class going on in the pool at the time, which 2-year-old Kaylin looked at and says, "Oh my God, an audience, a captive audience." So I jump in the pool, swim over into the like deep end, and I start to do the scene from The Rescuers where the little girl is drowning. And my mother knows that I'm faking. Like and she's like, "Kaylin, cut it out. Stop it." And the poor old ladies who are doing their aerobics are legitimately screaming at my mother to jump in and save me because like they don't know that I can swim. So my mom had to jump in her fully done hair, fully done makeup, clothes. We did not go back to the pool for what felt like years.
Until everything calmed down?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I love that she knew. She was like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah,
again.
she's like, here she does it.
She was not
Shout out to
concerned.
mom. That's epic.
God.
I love that story.
That's funny.
I have to recover.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm enjoying this. You're doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Your performance is absolutely to a T. I love it.
Thank you. I'm playing the role of Kay today.
That's the perfect role.
Perfect role for you.
Yeah.
So now with the draft league, right? Because we've had a lot of guests come on, and a lot of them are consistent draft league uploaders. I know that you've taken a little bit of a break for a little bit since Gen 7.
Right.
For those who don't know, Kaycreigh is coach of the LA Spice. So if you have followed her before in the WBE, the APA, the American Pokemon Association, very big leagues that you've participated in. How was that experience? I know that it could have been a little bit overwhelming, especially from the season that you were participating in and the WBE in particular, because it was so big. What were your thoughts when you were participating?
Well, I came into it brand new. The first battle I did in the APA was, other than another draft league that I started and it fell through first week, but it was the first competitive battle I'd ever done.
Oh wow.
Ever. And of course, like, Wolf was in that league. Envy was in that
you were
league.
in with Muhammad Ali.
You know.
You just came out swinging.
Truly. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know that you could practice or anything like that. It didn't occur to me. Envy was helping me build, and I had a lot of fun just doing it and kind of learning what happens and learning about all the items and whatnot. And then in the WBE was when I was like, okay, I want to, like, I would put hours of practice each week into each battle, and I would sit in call with my friend Jacob, as always, who is awesome. He was actually one of the primary people who built with me in my front office, as well as like some other people who helped me practice and whatnot. But we would just spend a ton of time practicing, and my goal for the WBE was to win once, which I did, and to improve over the course of the season, which I think that I did. And
you did.
I actually do have a lot of fun with it, even though it's challenging, it's stressful.
It looks stressful, yeah. It looks very stressful.
It's one thing to say that it's, as a game in general being a strategic difference, it's a strategic aspect to the game that's typically more of, like you said, a role play kind of game, to be more analytical with it. It's really hard to really get accustomed to the gameplay and get accustomed to the mechanics, and the fact that you came in, like I said, swinging with Envy, with PokeMMD, with A-Drive, Wolf Glick, World Champ 2016 BBC, but still. And you learning, and you did really, really great. So that's kudos to you. I was curious to get your thoughts of what that was for fighting those kind of caliber of players. Did that bring any sort of anxiety, or were you more confident stepping in?
Honestly, I think when you're going against opponents that are that good, you're forced to sort of rise up more. I mean, I always find that when you're against something that is above your personal level, like it pushes you harder to get better. And I did feel like a sense of responsibility because I was the only female in both of those leagues. And since then, I don't know for sure, but I don't think any other women have been in either of the leagues. And like sort of being that representation and having people come in, especially like other women, being like, I like seeing that someone is representing us and that we see that like we are a part of this too. Because so often whenever you see people playing competitive games, I mean, you mentioned this earlier, it's so saturated with, not women. or even not non-binary or queer people, anything like that. You typically just see sort of the cis male representation. And I think that, like, obviously I'm just a lady, but I think it was cool to be able to represent something other than that. And I hope to see more inclusion in the future. And I hope that the people in charge of these leagues do start to be more mindful of things like that, and allowing people to see people like them represented in things like that.
Panther, we're talking to you. Panther's a good buddy of mine. Panther, Mikey, we're talking to you.
That's something I was actually thinking about earlier today, because I know there are other women out there that are playing this game and love it and would love to do this, but might feel intimidated. And that's something that it was cool to see you as representation, like being fearless doing
Girl power!
Being fearless, because it can be intimidating. They're like, it's a bunch of guys, and I don't know. I feel like women tend to overthink a lot of things. So it's awesome seeing that, to make other women feel more comfortable into entering this and doing something that they enjoy.
You're a trailblazer, Kay.
Trailblazer, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you did phenomenal. And sorry, say, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So he'd mentioned Jacob as always. Jacob is a good buddy of mine. We have some good close content creator friends that get together on Discord. We call ourselves the Goon Docs, and he's there. So I know. I listen to Jacob. And Envy is a great guy also. So the two of them are phenomenal people to learn from. So shout out to Envy and shout out to Jacob as always for assisting Kay in the movement, because she did phenomenal. Kudos to you. Congratulations. So what I would like to do right now, because I feel as though there's a lot of underlying stories here. Typically, guys, whenever we have a guest in the Grandmasters table, I like to go out on Twitter and on social media, and I ask, well, first of all, if you're not following me, follow me at Grandmaster D-Ray. I'll tweet out whenever we have our guest here, and I'll have you guys submit questions, things you may want to know, things you've been curious about, just to kind of shoot your shot and see what our guest says. And today, we had an overwhelming response.
This is the most I've seen.
This is the most. Shout out to Kyle A, because Kyle had a big following when we had that, and then you just blew him out of the water.
Yeah.
So Kyle's a good buddy of mine, so I thought I'd just put that little point in there. So reading off the top. Reading off the top of the list here, I'm gonna kind of popcorn this just because of the way that Twitter kind of lays things out a little bit.
Okay.
Just leading from the top, right? I'll have you take a little breath because I know you saw the question, so I'm sure that you're.
Yeah, I would like to give sort of a heads up to everyone who's about to endure all of these questions. These are all from people who watch my streams and are trying to bring up incidents. And are trying to, I guess they succeeded.
They're trying
We're
to
gonna
expose you. They're exposing you.
We need to put the tea out on the table, Kay. And this is what the people come for.
I know.
The people are coming for the tea.
They're coming for the tea. It's piping hot right now. All right, so a good buddy of mine, John Jr., a.k.a. at John Jr. 306, because we call him a.k.a. because he calls himself John Jr. in the third person 10 times. John Jr., he's a buddy of mine. He'll get that reference. John Jr., he asks, what's the weirdest thing that someone has asked about you or requested that you do on stream?
Oh, on stream.
Online or on stream?
Oh, sorry.
Online.
You do
He said online.
We'll say online.
Okay.
I read that wrong.
Here's the thing. Being a female with a face on the internet
Yes.
and other things attached to your face, like lips and all the things in between. I refuse most days to go into my Instagram DMs or Twitter DMs, like the requests, because there are some weird ones. A lot of inappropriate things having to do with feet, mainly.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the most common one. I don't know what it is.
Really? I'm intrigued.
Why do you look interested?
Because I wouldn't mind selling a picture of my feet for a couple bucks.
Here's an important PSA. Anyone who's dealing with foot people on the internet, they will not pay you.
Oh, dang
Do
it.
not entertain them.
Freaking foot people, the worst.
I know.
Those damn foot people.
My dreams are shattered now.
Sorry. That's awesome.
I would say those ones.
Perfect. So another good buddy of mine, Josh, aka Ultra Player, goes by at Ultra Player 12. I'm just gonna kind of rip the Band-Aid off of this one. We're gonna say, we'll read this out word for word, right? He says, explain the Windows 10 glitch where if you unplug your vibrator while streaming your capture card.
He has another question right there too.
We're gonna leave that question there. That's Josh. It's Josh. So I'll repeat it real quick. So he says, explain the Windows 10 glitch where if you unplug your vibrator while streaming your capture card turns on.
Yeah,
Pause for dramatic effect.
Yeah. So, as it turns out, if you use a USB hub and you plug a vibrator into it,
It'll destroy it.
it will mess up anything also plugged into that USB hub, including an Elgato HD60S while you're live on stream.
Oh no.
That's awesome, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and put that Band-Aid back on. We're just gonna get that one out the way early. So that, for those of you who know what that is, that phenomenal, good case to you. I kind of want to elaborate my own question on that. Is I talked to Summer about this before because we knew we were gonna get this question, right? Just because it was a topic, it was a funny topic for quite some time. It's a good comedical content.
Yeah.
What in your opinion made you want to share that with your stream? Because sometimes people would keep that private, right? But you as a person, being the comedical genius that you are, was that just kind of an out of the whim thing, or was it like this is gonna be a good time?
It was just too funny.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Yeah.
I had an obligation as someone who I do stand up as well, and so like I feel an obligation to share my own personal embarrassing moments if it's for the sake of comedy. And here's the problem. It had happened before one time, and I didn't share it. And so I was like, this is the universe telling me that one, I need to stop using this as a charger, and two, that it's time to share this information.
Stop using this as a charger.
Summer's dying.
I am dying.
That's epic. I love that. Great answer. So this is an interesting question. I don't know if this is out of the blue or if it's an inside joke from your streams, but at Hot Honcho _ we know who Honcho is. Shout out to Honcho, shout out to Kaycreigh.
Yeah.
He says, rate Eminem from 8 Mile on a scale of 1 to 10.
So that's not an inside joke, and I know I'm gonna disappoint him in saying that I haven't seen that, but I do know. I think it's like from 2002 or something, like early 2000s Eminem movie.
Yeah,
I've heard that it's actually flames, like from people in the acting community, that it's actually thought of as like a really good movie, and I intend to watch it at some point. But as far as I know, it's not on like Netflix or Hulu or anything. But if I do end up watching it, I'll let you guys know what I think.
Yeah, no, it is. As a viewer, it is a good movie. It is a good movie. I don't know what it would. I see it on like MTV once in a while, but it's not on Netflix, and I haven't seen it on any other streaming services, so I have no idea, honestly, where you can find it.
Shout out to Slim Shady.
Slim Shady.
So the next question that I have, I'm going to read the second part first just to prepare you, because I know you did comment back on this one. At Certain91, he asks, the second part of this, he tags you and says, might hate me for asking this. Let's put that out there first. He says, he, she, I'm not sure. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you on stream, and how did you deal with it?
He wants me to talk about the vibrator incident, and I dealt with it by telling everyone about it and putting it on Twitter. So
that Band-Aid has been ripped off.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Moving right along. We have let's see, because I know Wild Bunny Harley put a bunch of questions on here, so we'll get to her in just one moment. We have, this is a pretty good one. We have at Calvin24, shout out to Calvin. We have a question that states, what's the best advice for a first-time streamer?
So that's my friend KC, who's also in my front office. Best advice for a first-time streamer, it's depending on a lot of different factors that I assure you are not in your control. You are going to grow at a different rate than everyone else around you. So all I can say is just turn on the camera, turn on that stream, do it, set goals for yourself, and don't necessarily look to other people and compare yourself to them in terms of, someone may be pulling 1,000 viewers, and if you're pulling 5 viewers today, but we're pulling 3 yesterday, that's something to celebrate. And if it's something that you really, really want to do and that you think that you would love, just do it. Just stick with it as long as it's fun to you. If it's something that it gets to the point where you don't enjoy it, then don't. But as someone whose life was completely changed by turning on the camera that first day, I urge you to do it if it's even something that you're considering.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Shout out to Casey. And then this is kind of streamlining onto the next question. Similar subject is that at old Benjy Kenobi, he asks, what's the best thing to do if a chat during stream is quote unquote dead?
So depending on what you're playing, a lot of times, especially with like shiny hunting, it can be difficult. Sometimes I'll grab one of my dogs, bring them on stream because that's instant content. I like to have, just things that have happened to you recently, that sort of stuff, because people like when you share personal experiences, personal stories. People love to get to know the person that they're watching and hanging out with. So if there's a funny story, even if you've told it on stream before, because you never know who's there, who's new, who hasn't heard it, or if people would like to hear the story again. Like the story about me pretending to drown in the pool, I have told that on stream many times when it has been relevant, because you never know, and that's going to be someone's first day there, and they're going to be like, oh, that was a really awesome story, I connected with that, or something like that was unique. And usually other conversations will go on from that. So as long as you have certain things prepared in your back pocket, or animals that are cute, you're pretty much
That's perfect. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's actually like why Daniel decided to start this podcast, is to get people the opportunity to fans to actually get more in depth on the people that they watch and that they follow, to know more on the personal stuff, because I feel like you connect with them more, and it's a lot different than just like watching them build a draft.
Yeah, like just to give an example, I know that for streamers it's a little bit different, because streamers, you guys have loads of time, hours upon stream content that you will come together and you guys will talk about random stuff that isn't related to the game that you're actually playing. So there's a little better of an avenue for you to get to know your followers or your supporters a little bit more often than the YouTube side. But kind of gearing on your YouTube content, let's just say you go to Kaycreigh and you watch one of our old WBE videos, or you watch her do a let's play. It's typically mostly just about the game, and they connect with you for a specific reason, right? There's a certain reason why you'll click on someone's content, and it's because you enjoy them for whatever reason, and it separates them from someone else. Yeah. And it gives them that opportunity to find out who she is. And you guys are getting the raw details from Kay right now. So she's doing a phenomenal job. Your energy is always over the top. Is that, I'm going to plug this question in because it's kind of coming on the same subject. Is that you all the time? Or do you feel as though you need to kind of get into character before you start?
I think that this is probably true for a lot of people who make content. You're like on personality when you're recording a video or on stream or something. For me, it's my personality, but just to an extent that would be a person who was just standing in the room with you. Like, I think that if I was speaking at the volume and the frequency and whatnot that I do on stream, but it's definitely just like me, but multiplied, I would like to say.
Yeah.
Enhanced
yeah.
version of you.
Exactly.
So then going back into Twitter, y'all, because I know you guys are itching to have your questions answered. We have @Dio. I'm gonna spell this out because I can't pronounce it, and I apologize if I mispronounce this. Is DEIO_RHYS Dio Rise.
Dale Reese Withers.
There you go.
Reese,
there we go. Shout out to Kay. She's got it. If you could start your content creation journey all over again, what is one thing you'd have done differently?
Oh. The only thing
That's
I would
heavy
say
one.
is maybe starting sooner. That's really the only thing, because I mean, you never at this certain time and even title it a certain way, maybe it wouldn't have shown up for someone and you wouldn't have, made all the connections that you did and met all the people that you have. So like, I guess the only thing that I would change is starting sooner, so I could have been doing this longer.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, let this hit home. If you want to be a content creator and you watch Kay, you watch anybody that's on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Gaming, and if you're itching to do this, just do it.
Just do
really,
it. Yeah.
Just do it. Just to kind of give everyone here that's watching that's new a backstory of me, I'm a VGC player that I played for about 2 years, very competitively, getting my CP, moving to different tournaments, and I never actually did YouTube. I've watched UK, actually, in your WBE and APA season. Watched MV, watched all the guys that I'm friends with now.
I
fanboyed hard.
Yeah, he's fangirling.
Internally screaming is the word that we'll put out there. You did. I'll say for me as a fan, right? So the reason why this needs to be.
I'm nervous.
I know, right?
Okay.
So you'll play MV, right? This is the WBE. You'll play MV, and I typically like to go to MV. If you listen to this, I'm sorry, bro. Love you too. If you were to play MV or Joey or Dan, Wolf, whoever it may be, there's a very analytical side to it, why they're doing what they're doing, a specific reason why. Whereas though I will watch your video instead because it's just so much more fun and more entertaining to watch a game that we love so much be played the way it's intended. And the fact that you said that you had just started kind of opened my eyes, because I would have never have guessed.
Oh, really?
There's been a couple games that I remember that you were either hacked out or you just, maybe a player or two was missed, but besides the fact some of the game kind of messed you up. And so you played out with behemoths flawlessly, in my opinion. So just watching you as a content creator would just made me want to watch you instead of others, just because you're so much fun to watch.
Yeah. And I watch your videos too, even though Daniel will have it on and I'll actually sit and watch your videos because you're so entertaining. Yeah. And I'm not even like a fan of, I mean, I like it, but I know about it, but I don't do, it's not at the same level, I would say.
Yeah. I like to get people kind of, I get to get Summer more accustomed to the guest that's coming, and then when I confirmed that you're gonna come on the table, I showed her a bunch of videos, and she was just laughing. So if you guys are, for your first time, if you guys have never heard of Kaycreigh before, down in the description below, I'll leave a link down to all of her stuff. So make sure you check her out because she is a phenomenal content creator.
Yes.
So shout out to you.
Thank you so much. That truly like makes my day. I like thank you. I'm so glad that you think that it's entertaining and enjoy watching them.
It definitely is.
So I'm looking over here on Twitter. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to ask you because I know you've seen this and which one would be good for the people to listen to. And this is in reference to Miss Pokebunny, right? I'm sure that you guys have an amazing relationship. We'll put this one on here. The reason why I'm going to ask you this is because I have watched your streams during this and I've seen your reactions to this, and I'm very curious to hear what your raw thoughts are when we ask you this, right? She asks, what's your favorite shiny Pokemon and why is it Shinotic?
Why is it Shinotic?
Oh my god. So for backstory, I've been going for the Sinistea, which you can only get by doing the encounter method in the forest. And I went into that whole experience saying, you know, I'm okay with doing it this way because I actually like all of the shinies here, except for Shinotic. I hate Shinotic. I have gotten 16 other shinies so far. 6 of them have been Shinotic. Percentage-wise, based on how often they appear and how many other Pokemon are in that area, that is ridiculous. Of me having gotten a shiny authentic Sinistea with how many Shinotics I have gotten. And it's so ugly. It looks like a poopy mushroom and it's disrespectful.
Ew, its fingers are really gross.
Really bad. And I have an emote on Twitch of a Shinotic that is shiny being punched in the face, and it's called KO. And that's how I feel about that one.
Oh my god!
I don't want to spoil this if this has actually happened, but has the pursuit of the authentic shiny Sinistea come to a close, or is it still in the works?
No, that's going to be an ongoing hunt that I am doing for the rest of my life. I've pretty much conceded to that fact at this point.
For those who don't know, right, Sinistea is a Pokemon, right? Like just how Kay explained it. But there's no competitive difference. There's no competitive prowess to what shinies do to the normal form. And it's just an aesthetic look to a Pokemon that it gives you a sense of confidence, or not confidence, a sense of accomplishment that you caught and have found after hours and hours of grinding a specific Pokemon that has a 1 in 1,000 whatever number chance it is odds to get. Is a sense of encouragement, right? And so now Sinistea in particular has this one stripe on its tea kettle pot. No, cup. I should say cup.
I have no idea.
That is different than another one, and that's quote unquote authentic. There's no reason why. There's no difference in the actual Pokemon. It just has that little detail in the cup. So the fact that you can, 1, get that little detail in the cup, and then 2, stack on that it is shiny it's just an incredible accomplishment. So if you were to get that, we'll throw the shiny luck on you. That's an incredible bout. But the grind has been on, huh? How often do you do that shiny hunting?
So to give you guys an idea of like the extent of my time spent on this hunt, I began it back in December around like Christmas time. And I streamed it essentially every day for truly like 6+ hours a day until Animal Crossing came out in March.
Yeah.
And then have been playing that. I recently, actually, I did a marathon with my friend Chocolate Kieran, where I ventured back into the forest. We did a shiny hunting marathon. And I went back and, you know, it was like I had never left. Just an onslaught of non-shiny Pokemon. Truly an underwhelming amount of Sinesteas appeared at all, let alone shiny ones. And like I said, I've resigned myself to doing this for the rest of my life. So.
Amazing.
Jeez, that's amazing. Crazy.
It's a pursuit that once it happens,
dedication. Yeah.
And so, guys, this is going to be the context of this, okay? Because this question had so many likes, and he's a good friend of mine. I'm gonna put a pause on this question, and I'm gonna move forward and come back to it, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of marination on what exactly is gonna happen later on, and a little bit of sense of anticipation. So, moving on, your personal life, right? So you have the acting side, you have what you do for a living. What is it that you like to do on your spare time that isn't in relation to your quote-unquote way you make an income? If you have some free time, like an hour, 2 hours, what does Kaycreigh like to do?
So I suffer from a truly terrible sense of time management.
I feel
Where like, let's say I have stream later, and I'll be like, okay, I have 4 hours to do whatever I want. The world is my oyster as long as I stay inside, because it's important right now during COVID.
Yes.
And I will go and like make breakfast or whatever. I will finish the bowl of oatmeal or whatever I've made, and it's 4 hours later. I don't know where my time goes. One day I may figure it out. I mean, honestly, what I do on stream is what I do off stream. I just flop around endlessly, play some games, hang out with my dogs, and really hope for the best in life. But time just, it gets away from me. I don't know. I'll work on that one.
I feel like that's
Daniel
like,
has the
I feel
same.
like
No,
that's
me.
you.
I am on time for like me as a mom. I have to have a schedule and have time. You are the one that can say.
I'm a creative mind. It has to flow.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe that's what I blame it on. I'm an artist.
Yes. There
I'm an
you
artist,
go.
and therefore
They
my
live in a
mind is not-
confine of.
There you go.
My emotions cannot be confined with a canvas.
With time.
Exactly.
Dipping more into the personal life aspect of you. Now, I know that you had mentioned a couple times prior that you had, well, your story was in Arizona, and then you were in Las Vegas, and then now you're in Los Angeles. Do you have family here? What's your living situation like? Are you a floater?
Yes, I've lived so many places. For context, I was born and raised essentially in Oklahoma. I had a brief excursion to Arizona. When I was younger, my dad moved to Utah and then to the Chicago area. Whenever I was older, my mom moved to Virginia, right outside of DC, so that's where I moved. And then I moved to Los Angeles, and then to Vegas, and then back to LA. So I've been to a bunch of different places. But in terms of siblings, so this is gonna get very serious. My parents got divorced when I was very young.
Yes.
But then they both remarried also when I was very young. My dad, so my stepmom, who was awesome, I love her. She had 2 daughters, one who was slightly older than me and one who was slightly younger than me. And I mean, we've known each other since we were probably
together.
Yeah, like 3 or 4. And so even though they're my stepsisters, I just consider them my sisters. The younger one, by the way, got a 5-star island in Animal Crossing before me and was quick to point that out. But I also have a little baby half brother. Although he's not really a baby anymore, he's 13. But
he's always gonna be. I'm in the same. I have the same family situation, and I also have a brother who's 13, and he's always gonna be a baby.
Yeah, I mean, the moment that I realized he was less of a baby is when he started beating us in Super Smash Brothers. I was like,
when did this start happening?
yeah, I remember giving him a controller that wasn't even plugged in when he was a baby.
Yeah.
And now we're like losing to him. I don't know.
Oh my god, we used to do that to my brother.
Shout out to Kay's sense of time. That's funny. Blinker than I, everybody grows up. That's so cool. So, guys, without further ado, I'm going to bring back in this question because I feel like this is the third part of the personal life of Kay. And this could be a fun thing. It could be a serious thing. You never know, but this is going to be my fun way to poke at my friend. Going back to Twitter, we have a question that was asked by @KyleI, and his Twitter handle is @KyleA_. Shout out to Never Lost. We have pause for dramatic effect. He says, jokingly, of course, he says, "Will you marry me? What's the relationship between you and Kyle A?"
So we're both people who think that funny things are funny and should be said no matter what. he was actually one of the first people that I met in the community. So we've known each other for a little over 2 years. And he in particular will respond like that to things all the time because we both think that it's just the funniest thing ever. But yeah, he consistently is wild and in my comment section, and I'm consistently just like, oh my god.
You know what's funny? I'm gonna say this out there, Kyle. When you listen to this, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love this part. So we were talking about this, right? And Kyle is an amazing personality. He was so much fun to have on the stream, on the podcast, and off. Even when we stopped recording, he's just an awesome human being. So what you guys see as a content creator is what you get in real life. He's a great guy. I just thought it was convenient because I posted this Twitter status, right? And then moments later, the first person that I see liked it was Kyle, and I was like, this is very particular. Why do I always see Kyle on Kay's like statuses and in her streams? This is very interesting to me, I told Summer.
Yeah.
And then she said, what did you say? You said, what if he loves her and what did you say?
Oh, yeah. I said, what if he's committed and she's not?
We'll just say this for fun. You don't have to answer this very deftly. You can answer this jokingly, but we're going to say this for fans of Kyle A and fans of Kaycreigh. Is there any connection there, possibly, currently, or in the future that fans may get excited for? We'll put this on the level of Twilight. We have Bella and
oh my gosh.
On the podcast. What is the... What are we looking at now?
Like I said, we're good friends, and we've been good friends for a long time, and so we like to joke about stuff like that. I mean, he's awesome, obviously, but yeah, that's...
So Kyle, that's a no to your request. Sorry, I had to.
He's a good buddy of ours, guys. We're not putting him on the spot. He's gonna chuckle at this. This is a good time.
He's gonna think this is hilarious.
Yeah, that's just the kind of guy he is. He's an awesome human being. So there you have it, guys. To be decided.
To be decided.
Yeah. But Kay, the floor is yours. Do you have anything coming soon? Anything you want to plug? A big project that we can expect to come? Floor is yours. Go ahead and shout out away.
Okay. So obviously I do semi-daily streams over on Twitch. So if you guys are listening to this / watch my YouTube stuff, I would love to see you there. It's a little family, a little community, and we have a ton of fun. In terms of YouTube content, I am hoping to get back into the draft scene. We will see how that goes. Mm-hmm. But I also have a new Let's Play with my friend Katie coming. It's going to be a Metronome Microsoft Paint lock, which it's a mess so far, but it's really fun. It's essentially a disaster, but I think that that's kind of what is expected. As well as like, there's a bunch of other alternative type content that I want to start doing on YouTube. Like I have a tour of my first ever GameCube Animal Crossing island that's going to be coming out soon, as soon as I take the thumbnail picture for it. It's been edited for weeks, guys. Truly, the things that keep me from being productive are ridiculous. I could take the thumbnail picture right now. Am I going to do it? No, but it's okay.
Too many creative things happening in the brain. I get that too. I feel that super hard. So guys, if you guys haven't already, or if you aren't already, I'll leave a link down in the description below for Kay's Twitch stream channel, for her YouTube channel, for her Twitter. Make sure you drop her a follow, subscribe, all that fun jazz. You guys don't want to miss any of her content that she does, just like we reiterated many times over our conversation, as Kaycreigh is a special one. She does a really good job of entertaining everybody, whether if you are a male in a draft league scene, or if you are just someone that's wanting to play Animal Crossing and the game makes no sense, but the creator herself does an awesome job of just making you laugh and have a good time. So you won't regret it. Make sure you head over, subscribe, follow, do all that fun jazz. And Summer, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I'm good. I don't know what else.
Okay, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate you taking this time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we both had a lot of fun. I think I'm like sweating because I was laughing so
She was looking
hard.
Okay, I'm gonna put her on blast real quick, because
put me on blast.
Summer I always introduce the content of the person that comes on the Grandmaster's table, just to kind of get her.
The thing is that I you didn't need to show me any videos because I already knew. Yeah, I already knew what you were about. And it's funny because I am not like of Pokemon or anything. A gamer. I'm not a gamer, but I am a fan of you, so it was fun.
It was a good time.
Well, you're not a gamer until you get Animal Crossing.
That is very true,
boy.
and I will get Animal Crossing. It'll happen in the near future.
Look into the Harvest Moon series. Same energy as Animal Crossing, but you can marry people and you can grow crops.
That is my vibe. That's up my alley.
You can have like cows and stuff, and you can get a dog. It's one of my favorite franchises.
Okay, cool. Thank you for the tip.
If my Switch disappears, we're gonna have a conversation, guys. Oh, that's a great place to say bye. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. We really do appreciate it. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought, and also leave a comment who you would like to see on the Grandmaster's table. If there's a content creator that you enjoy watching on a day-to-day basis, leave that name down below. I will not hesitate in reaching out and seeing if they want to take a gander with us. So, with all that being said, we're gonna get the heck up out of here. Have a great rest of your night, and above all else, be nice. Peace.